Afternoon and welcome to the Page Academy for another really exciting episode of what is really important in my golf swing. Now, probably the most important thing, and we can argue this whichever way round it, what I need at impact is I need my club head and my hands and arms, therefore with the club, in front of my chest. What does everyone that I teach struggle with? They lead with their chest, and their club consequently gets left behind. They may throw the club head early, but ultimately the chest is here early and the club never squares up. Now, as you can see, I quite like Tiger. You can see there, quite like Ben Hogan, sort of like Forrest, but not quite as much as maybe sometimes I do. Depends on what they do. Good players' tendency is to get ahead of the club in the wrong way, probably more with their midriff here. And what that does, it drops the club a little bit too inside, and then they tend to be a little bit flippy. Hence, good players tend to hit the ball a little out to the right, hook it back or leave it there. Handicap players tend to get a little bit the other way. Club still gets left behind, but can you see how my chest goes early and now the club gets left behind? Now, what this does is it means we can never properly square it up. And probably the best way for me to visually explain that, and I'll have a little chat through it in a minute, is the old favourite badminton racket. If I'm to sit here, okay, by definition, I can't use my bottom half. So let's just imagine I'm going to sit down here and I want to square the racket up. You can see here, to you guys and girls in front here. So if I swing back and I keep the racket going quick enough, or let's say my hands and arms quick enough to get the racket in front of me every time, can you see how I can square that up? Now, if I get a little bit too aggressive because I can't use anything else and I try and hit it too hard, notice how if my chest goes early, now the racket can't square up. It's too far back, can't square up. It's humanly impossible. So what I've got to do is keep spinning and hope at some stage that racket is now square to where I want to go. Now, conversely, which is nearly impossible, not in this instance, if I was to keep my chest back and let the racket go too quickly, can you see how now suddenly the racket is shut to where we're going? So almost like a pull or draw the ball. If my chest is slow and my hands and arms and club conversely are too quick. So realistically, we want them both getting there together. Now you're going to say, yes, but I need to use my bottom half, and you are perfectly correct. In the real world, from the top here, I'm going to want my hips to lead slightly, to slow my chest down and allow my hands and arms to get out in front of me here. You can see hips early, hands and arms can come down. Again, if I get that chest leading too early, club can never square up. If I were, and very few people ever do, to stay too much here, which tends to be a little bit of, as we say, the good player, they get a little bit hooky, they get a little bit inside here, the club would be too much from this inside. I have to release it into the bag there. Obviously, we don't want to hit the bag, it's a lovely bag. So again, hands and arms in front of chest is the be all and end all. There are sequences to help that happen, but the reality is you can't, just to clarify either, before people say, could I just keep it straight in front of me? Well, you could if you want to go at no real pace, but we need a little bit of that laggy feeling to start to get it there at some pace. And as you can see, I'm using my hips to help that and my hands and arms to help that. I hope that helps you. Have a good afternoon.